I guess the first word is sustainability for me. We've been here 10 years, bought the property 10 years ago, and it's a good life.
I was pretty overwhelmed before we got here when the decision was made to come, and I couldn't see the big picture that Tas did, but he just adored it so much that when the decision came to come here, I couldn't say no. I'm not going to let you pursue your absolute ultimate dream. So it was one of those things that you do as a wife where you just say, well, I have to allow you to pursue that.
So our operation here is sheep for meat and wool, merinos, and also rangeland goats, which we've not got any goats under wire, but we control them through our water points and traps.
Originally we started off and we just said, the obvious thing is if you can't control the water points, you can't do anything else. You can't control sheep, goat numbers, roo numbers, anything. And the big thing about out here is that what's the difference now between 100, 150 years ago? Human beings put water sources in. And because of that, you've got those other species that all want to come to the water.
It's 120,000 acres, a lot of creeks and gutters, main roads, a bit restricted to your fencing and that sort of stuff. There's about 300 floodgates of all sizes on the whole place, so a little bit to maintain. I've been flying for about 25 years or more. It's a good tool to get up in the air and see things from a different perspective. It's good for obviously seeing a problem that you may not see on the ground, but also you can't see everything from the air. We had to get control of the goats, which were having a huge impact on the fodder, annuals and perennials. So we started doing that when we first bought the place with these goat traps.
We've stopped what was happening, now we need to fix what's happened in the past.
Then I started to look at merinos and you know, what's the best type of sheep that you know we can run here, and merinos are it, you know, with all the floodgates and that sort of stuff. And productivity from merinos was down, so I needed to work out a way to make that more sustainable, and we needed trying to achieve higher lambings, which we've done a bit of that. Our lambing percentages in a good year were around 60 to 70%, and I was finding I was doing a lot of trading of sheep, buying and selling to bridge the gap, so to speak. So we started fencing off a paddock 3 years ago and tried joining the ewes in a smaller area, and we achieved 120% in that first year. And even though the infrastructure wasn't what it is today, we knew that we were on a winner with, you know, the smaller paddocks and making it work. And then I've put a water point in the centre of each paddock, which is fed by a pipeline to a receiving tank and a trough, so I can turn those waters on and off. But essentially the sheep all come to the middle of the paddock, all of them, whichever paddock they're in, so you know your ram can get access to the ewe, and then when that feed gets to a level where you need to move them on, you shut that water off and you move them to the next paddock. So they're always on good feed in that joining phase. Any increase in lambing that you can achieve, whether it's 10% year after year, you're going to gain. To me, getting out and having a walk and stopping and having a look at what's actually coming out of the ground is a big learning curve, and I'll pick a plant and take it home and see what it is, and you know, that's rewarding to me to see things that I haven't seen grown before, and yeah, it all makes sense. So yeah, I'm seeing more echidnas around the house and even out in the paddock, and I never used to see them. Out in the north eastern side of the place, there was a trial done with some pitfall traps, and we caught stripe-faced dunarts and quite a few of them, so it's good to see some native mammals. So that's all positive.
Tas convinces me every day that we've made the right decision to be here, because he finds joy in it.
So we sometimes like to go down to the tank and go yabbying.
Family does come first, but then you need a successful enterprise to spend that time as well with your family. But I value throwing a fishing line in out of the tank where our fish are with the kids and Penny, and you know, that to me is good family downtime.
So we go out mustering sometimes, and I do fencing, and when we're fencing, maybe I'll drive the car along to help Mum and Dad.
You have to all help each other. Our kids have learned to work and be responsible because they simply have to be, otherwise it wouldn't work.
I'd soon help them out if they wanted to take over, you know, what we're doing, but I wouldn't be disappointed if they didn't. You know, you've got to want to do it.
We're in our schoolroom, and right now we've set up a china display for this term's work.
We do actually always said that the kids' education came before Kayrunnera, because if you're going to come there, you can't underestimate how important it is that they need their own future. I don't actually see that this has to be their future.
This year it's just Mum and I in the schoolroom because Seb's gone away to high school.
Anybody who lives out here knows you've got to know a fair bit about a lot of different things, and I guess if you don't know something, then you ask somebody who does.
You have to be prepared to talk to lots of people, try lots of things, take what you need from it, and ditch things that are not going to work in your environment or for you, or you're not that sort of person. What about the rest of the old fence that we have to be jumping in there?
We're still a long way off of where I want to be, but to be in a positive place with the vegetation, the goat control, the lambing percentages on a tough block with the floodgates and the roads we've got, I reckon it's great. A good spot to be in. Yeah.
Across probably a 200k radius, we have very, very, very close friends. So we do have a better social life than we probably would have in a town.
Live the life you love and love the life you live. Everyone's got to do something. I like doing this, I like being here, and it doesn't matter what you do, it's going to be hard wherever you are, so it's just challenging, and if you can make it work, then that's good.